Letter 22 to Thomas Pennant, Esquire, Selborne, July 2nd, 1769. Dear Sir, as to the peculiarity of jackdaws building with us under the ground in rabbit burrows, you have, in part, hit upon the reason. For in reality there are hardly any towers or steeples in all this country, and perhaps, Norfolk excepted, Hampshire and Sussex are as meanly furnished with churches as almost any counties in the kingdom. We have many livings of 200 or 300 pounds a year, whose houses of worship make little better appearance than dovecotes. When I first saw Northamptonshire, Cambridgeshire, and Huntingdonshire, and the fens of Lincolnshire, I was amazed at the number of spires which presented themselves in every point of view. As an admirer of prospects, I have reason to lament this want in my own country, for such objects are very necessary ingredients in an elegant landscape. What you mention with respect to reclaimed toads raises my curiosity. An ancient author, though no naturalist, has well remarked that every kind of beasts, and of birds, and of serpents, and of things in the sea, is tamed, and hath been tamed, of mankind. Footnote, James, chapter 3, verse 7, end footnote. It is a satisfaction to me to find that a green lizard has actually been procured for you in Devonshire, because it corroborates my discovery, which I made many years ago, of the same sort, on a sunny sandbank near Farnham in Surrey. I am well acquainted with the South Hams of Devonshire, and can suppose that district, from its southerly situation, to be a proper habitation for such animals in their best colours. Since the ring ouzels of your vast mountains do certainly not forsake them against winter, our suspicions that those which visit this neighbourhood about Michaelmas are not English birds, but driven from the more northern parts of Europe by the frosts, are still more reasonable, and it will be worth your pains to endeavour to trace from whence they come, and to inquire why they make so very short a stay. In your account of your error with regard to the 2 species of herons, you incidentally gave me great entertainment in your description of the heronry at Cressy Hall, which is a curiosity I could never manage to see. 80 nests of such a bird on one tree is a rarity which I would ride half as many miles to have a sight of. Pray be sure to tell me in your next whose seat Cressy Hall is, and near what town it lies. Footnote, Cressy Hall is near Spalding, in Lincolnshire. End footnote. I have often thought that those vast extents of fens have never been sufficiently explored. If 6 gentlemen, furnished with a good strength of water-spaniels, were to beat them over for a week, they would certainly find more species. There is no bird, I believe, whose manners I have studied more than that of the caplimulgus, the goatsucker, as it is a wonderful and curious creature. But I have always found that, though sometimes it may chatter as it flies, as I know it does, yet in general it utters its jarring note sitting on a bough. And I have for many a half-hour watched it as it sat with its under mandible quivering, and particularly this summer. It perches usually on a bare twig, with its head lower than its tail, in an attitude well expressed by your draughtsman in the folio British Zoology. This bird is most punctual in beginning its song exactly at the close of day, so exactly that I have known it strike up more than once or twice, just at the report of the Portsmouth evening gun. which we can hear when the weather is still. It appears to me past all doubt that its notes are formed by organic impulse, by the powers of the parts of its windpipe, formed for sound, just as cats purr. You will credit me, I hope, when I tell you that, as my neighbours were assembled in a hermitage on the side of a steep hill where we drink tea, one of these churn owls came and settled on the cross of that little straw edifice, and began to chatter, and continued his note for many minutes. And we were all struck with wonder to find that the organs of that little animal, when put in motion, gave a sensible vibration to the whole building. This bird also sometimes make a small squeak, repeated 4 or 5 times. And I have observed that to happen when the cock has been pursuing the hen in a toying way through the boughs of a tree. It would not be at all strange if your bat, which you have procured, should prove a new one, since 5 species have been found in a neighbouring kingdom. The great sort that I mentioned is certainly a nondescript. I saw but one this summer, and that I had no opportunity of taking. Your account of the Indian grass was entertaining. I am no angler myself, but inquiring of those that are, what they supposed that part of their tackle to be made of. They replied, of the intestines of a silkworm. Though I must not pretend to great skill in entomology, yet I cannot say that I am ignorant of that kind of knowledge. I may now and then, perhaps, be able to furnish you with a little information. The vast rain ceased with us much about the same time as with you, and since we have had delicate weather. Mr. Barker, who has measured the rain for more than 30 years, says in a late letter that more has fallen this year than in any he ever attended to, though from July 1763 to January 1764, more fell than in any 7 months of this year.